What's going on YouTube? It's Patrick Kenney. I'm doing it again, another action-packed webinar. This time I'm going to teach you how to trade the markets fast. I'm going to teach you how to mark your charts with speed. But before I do, what I want you to do is click that subscribe button. That's all I ask of you, nothing else. Let's watch this video. I hope you enjoy the webinar. All right. So now, Willie, you should be able to hear me and see a screen. Is that clear? All right. If everybody got my email, you may not have. And I apologize if you can't or if you didn't get the email. But what the email said was basically, I need everybody's MetaTrader 4 to be clean. I need it to look like this. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to start with a clean slate. And I'm going to teach you template. I'm going to teach you organization. Then, of course, we're going to get into marking the charts. If you guys thought you'd be on a webinar with a PowerPoint, I'm sorry, but this is actually, we're learning how to do stuff. It's none of that, jargon that we can add on it. So anyway, I want everybody to get MetaTrader 4 up. Once again, if you're on a phone, hopefully you can listen along and see it. Hopefully you can toggle between screens, or maybe you can't and you just want to watch it. From the webinar settings, there should be a replay being sent if I did it correctly. And if I didn't, I'll just rerun the webinar later on. So don't worry about that. There will be a recording at some point. But anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. So let's get started. I don't want to talk too much more. First thing I want us to do, guys, today is learn just to get your average template set up. And this is going to be a little basic for some of you, so just kind of bear with me for a couple of minutes. But what we're going to do is get our chart template set up so that we can have a good idea of getting started. So if everybody could just get Aussie yen open, please choose Aussie yen. That is specific for a reason. And get it open on your chart. It should be something like this. If you do have any indicators, if you do have any basic indicators on your chart, what I want you to do is just right click and you'll see at the top it'll say indicator list. Make sure you delete it. What I want basically is everybody to have a clean slate. I don't want anybody to have anything on their chart. Next thing I want you guys to do is right click and hit grid. Once you turn your grid off, what will happen is you'll notice that everything gets a little bit clearer. Okay. Moving forward, what we're going to do is now just kind of set this up. And of course, this is a lot of just, basic stuff, customization that's not going to be, it's not going to be required. You don't need to have custom charts, but it just makes my life easier in the future. And if everybody's on the same screen, it's easier to read it together. So make sure you're on Aussie yen again, and I'll tell you the reason why in the next, not segment, but in a few minutes as we move forward. Next thing I want you to do is click up here where this red arrow is, and then click the green arrow off. So you should have your red arrow toggled, your green arrow off. The only reason we do that is it provides us with some space from where we're currently at to this right side, all right? And the reason that we do that is so that we can speculate what will happen into the future. It gives us some room to analyze a little bit easier and better, okay? All right, so now let's get into the customization. Customization is easy. Really, we only need to change the color of the charts. We're not going to have any indicators at this time on our charts. So what I want you guys all to do is go down, is right click on your chart, go down and hit properties. Okay, it's going to open up a window that looks just like this. I want your bar up to be lime. I want your bar down to be red. Okay, I want your bull candle, which is bullish, to be lime again. And I want your bear candle to be red, or a hue of green or red, just to keep everybody's mind the same. Okay, and click OK. All right. Next, what you'll notice is we're on bar charts, so make sure you just go up here and hit Alt+2, or just click the candle button, and you'll get your candle charts. We want to make sure we're on candles, as it's just, well, doesn't really matter that much, but it's just what I have experience with. All right. Now that we got that, that's our template. We want to save it so that we can easily span it across all of our charts. And once again, we're going to actually mark some charts today, because what we're going to do is teach you how to do it fast. So you guys are going to see me mark multiple charts within the hour. And a lot of people don't know how to do that with speed. All right, so what I want you to do now is right click again, go to template. Okay, right, once again, right click, go to template, and go up to where it says save template. Now, it'll say template name. This is, again, up to you, but for sake of keeping everybody on the same page, let's name this template let's name it, what should we name it? Speed. Let's just name it Speed. Speed chart. There we go, easy name, Speed chart, okay? And click save. All right, I'll digress for just 1 minute. Is everybody with me? Copy, copy, yes, 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 perfect. All right, so all we've done so far, obviously, is not too much, but we've just gotten a template. And this is not that important, and if you don't have a computer right now, once again, or you're stuck, struggling, remember that I should have a recording being sent to you automatically after the webinar commences, as long as you registered, and obviously if you're on here, you registered. So moving forward now, what we're using is this template for the sake of ease of use. Excuse me. And it allows us to span across. So this is what is going to bring me into my next segment of speed charting. And this is something a lot of traders don't talk about, but anybody that's been in any of my live rooms, which, you know, I have been doing live rooms now with my company, FFX Academy, for the last 3 years. Anybody that's ever watched my live rooms, whether you're in the FFX live room or if you're in one of the great companies that I'm contracted by, Copy Profit Success Global. In fact, I think the CEO of the company is in this room right now, Joel. If you've ever been in any of those live rooms, what you guys will notice is the bottom of my charts always have concurrency pairs that are categorized. And so what I want to teach you really quick, this is not much of a moment, but it's good to remember, is that you need to categorize your charts. And so the first thing I want you guys to do is categorize your chart. So how we do that is, of course, open our navigator again and get our market watch up. And what we're going to do is we're going to categorize our chart. We're not going to do too many for sake of time, but I'm going to show you how I do this. So the first thing I always do is yen. Okay, if you have a notebook out, this is the noteworthy moment. I categorize yen, dollar, cross, commodity. I'm going to say it 3 times. Yen, dollar, cross, commodity. Okay, one more time. Yen, dollar, cross, commodity. So what that means is we have Aussie yen, and what I'll do is I will open up the yen pairs that I like to trade. And the yen pairs that I specifically enjoy trading are Aussie yen, CAD yen, dollar yen, pound yen, New Zealand yen. Okay, once again, just preference. This is what I like to open and open up. And so this is a category, because when one in trading, and of course I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, and we're gonna have a lot of free webinars in the future. But in trading, when a currency is strong, it's typically really strong across the board. Meaning if the yen is bullish on Aussie yen, typically we will see a lot of the similar activity across the board on all of these pairs. And so why have them scattered under here all over when you can have them next to each other? Okay, so for sake of time, I'm going to delete a few. You guys can add them, but for sake of time, I'm going to do 3 yen pairs. Okay, once again, yen, dollar. So now I'll open Aussie dollar, euro dollar, dollar yen, cross, pound Aussie, euro pound, and commodity. We'll just grab gold. Okay, once again for sake of time. So now what you'll notice on the bottom is I have 3 yen pairs, I have 3 dollar pairs, I have 2 cross pairs, and I have a commodity. Typically speaking, I typically have 16 to 20 pairs on the bottom of my screen at any given time, but it follows the same preface. It doesn't matter what you guys trade, as long as you're categorizing it, it's going to help you with speed. Because when you start to mark one chart up, similar attributes will happen on the next chart, and it's just going to, by default, help you with speed. And that's what I'm trying to teach you to do today. And we haven't even gotten to the real good part. All right. So now what I want to do is we're going to categorize all these, which we already have done. Next step is getting them all with this speed template. To do so, go to your next chart. For me, it's CAD yen. Make sure you click that red arrow again, doing the same things. And then, of course, right click, go to template, and go to speed chart. Okay. And that's automatically going to be there for you. So what I'm going to do now, and all you guys can do now, is just add speed chart to all your charts, okay? And for those of you guys that do it, please comment done in the chat when you're done adding speed chart to all of your charts. I don't want to get ahead of you guys. So I'm going to do it as well. Brent says, way ahead of you. Awesome. Trying to go fast enough to not make it a wasted webinar and waste your time, but slow enough to make sure everybody's with me. Hopefully you guys can understand that. All right. So I'm just waiting for everybody to say done. Once again, say done when you're ready. Once again, we categorize by simply adding the currency pairs in the order you want them. So, and another way to do it is by moving it. Okay, but all I did was I added the yen pairs, I added the dollar pairs, I added the commodities and the crosses. If you can't hear me, make sure to, I guess they couldn't hear me say that. So I was going to say, make sure to back out and come back in. So if it's uncategorized for whatever reason, if you're noticing that you have a yen pair kind of mixed with a dollar or anything, always remember you can click on the chart and then you can drag it to where you need it to go. Okay, it's just a nice little tool that MetaTrader 4 had. All right. Okay. Everybody done there? All right. So now we're going to move forward to really the reason that you guys are all here. And once again, if you showed up late, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. My webinars kind of get going right on the dot, and I don't really waste much time. And as I said at the beginning, you're going to leave this webinar if you stay to the end with two things. Number one, you're going to know how to mark your charts with speed. And number two, you're going to get a chance at one of my bigger private projects with FFX Academy. All right, so let's move in to the speed. All right. So with the speed side of things, I utilize the tools in the back of MetaTrader 4. And marking our charts up with speed, let me explain why this is important in the first place. When we mark up charts, what we want to do is create an idea. We want to be able to give ourselves a chance of knowing where the market will potentially go in the future. All right. And so to do that, we need to first know where the overall picture is and then scale in. And so how we do that is by analyzing on a higher time frame. So step one is make sure all your standard charts are on the daily time frame. So I'm going to go through and do that now. Once again, make sure all your charts are on the daily time frame. And you'll notice that it will say daily on the bottom next to the currency pair. For some of you guys, you're going, Patrick, this is way too basic for me, and I understand that. But we're just getting everybody situated. All right, next. What we need to do is we need to first figure out where the market's zones are at, okay? And we do that by labeling our structure. Now, what I notice across the board with new traders, and this is specifically guided towards newer traders. What I notice, though, is they'll get on a chart, and they can have the best training in the world, but when they go and they do it alone, they look at this right here. How many of you guys, and you guys can be honest, how many of you guys look at it and you think you know where it's going, but you really don't? You're a little confused, and it's a little bit difficult to try to bring your thoughts to reality of where the market will go. And some of you guys may not admit that, but that happens, and that's exactly what I'm here for today. So what I want you guys to do, we've gone through now step, I don't even know what step we're on. We've categorized, we've charted it up, we have our template, we were on the daily time frame. Now what I want you guys to do is go to your magnifying glass on all your charts and zoom it all the way out. Okay, zoom it all the way out. So you guys should see on Aussie yen the 4th of July of 2013. Okay, once again, zoom it all the way out. Zoom it all the way out on all of these, however many of you guys are following along with. And obviously, as I'm explaining, you can probably understand why it'll take me a little longer to mark these charts today. But at the end, I'm going to show you as fast as I can possibly go. It should be fun. So we zoom it all the way out. The reason we do that is when traders ask me, Patrick, can you give me the tip for being successful? I give them 2 words, or 2 segments of 2 words. Number 1 is risk management, and number 2 is zoom out. That's it. That's how I became successful. I quit looking at what was happening on the 15-minute time frame. I started to understand what was overall happening, and this is where we are now at. Certain brokers allow you to zoom out to certain levels. That's fine. Zoom all the way out. Whatever you're at, daily time frame, zoom all the way out. Okay? So now what we're going to do is actually get into the charting process. Once again, just give me a done in the chat. Just give me a done in the chat when you are ready to go. Appreciate that. I accidentally clicked it. All right, here we go. We're ready to rock. So I'm going to teach you the tool that I use. Everybody's got this, and some of you guys have seen this, some of you have not. Here we go. So what I want everybody to do is go up here to this, see this folder? It's the navigator. It's got a star and a folder. I want you to click that now. All right. I want you to scroll. Everybody's going to have a different amount, and most of you guys are going to have something that looks like this. Give me 1 sec to grab a drink. Okay, everybody's going to have a different layout here. What I want you to do is click that plus sign on indicators. We actually use an indicator for this. Click that plus sign. Everything might be minused in here. What I want you to do is scroll to the bottom, okay, of the generic side of things. And at the bottom, you're going to see something that says zigzag. This is how we begin this speed process. Okay. How many of you guys see zigzag? What you want to then do is double click on it. Okay. You want to double click on it. And if you don't see zigzag, once again, double check, triple check. Look, I haven't run into this before, but I can't guarantee it. Some brokers may not have it. But it should come standard with MetaTrader 4. I haven't ever seen a segment that it hasn't, but I don't want to guarantee that it, isn't on there. All right, so double click on zigzag. This is going to pop up. It's going to say custom indicator zigzag. All right, here's where we have to mess with the settings. This is what is, the nugget of the day per se in this webinar, because people use zigzags, but they don't use it properly for speed. And so what I want you to do is allow the DLL imports, and I want you to first, before you do anything, go over to colors. And if you're with me with my template having the black background and these colors, you will probably think to yourself, what color would pop better than any other? To me, it's white. So I want you to change the color by double clicking here. It'll give you this little drop down menu, and go to the right bottom and click white. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is go to a width, and 3 or 4 is going to work. I'm going to choose 3. You guys can choose 3 or 4. Let's just do 3. All right. What this does is, you'll see in a minute, it allows you to visually see this a little bit better. Next thing I want you to do is go to inputs. This is basically why you're here. This is your nugget of info. This is what you would have, I guess, paid for, quote unquote, if you had to pay for something. So what I want you to do is change your depth to 21. As you can see, Adrian's probably already seen me do this before. Change your deviation to 13, and change your back step to 10. All right. What I then want you to do is click save and name it speed. And we probably, for sake of confusion, we won't probably use this today, but hit save and change it to speed. All right, this is a preset. All right, speed. All right, I'll do that one more time. Once again, change our depth to 21, change our deviation to 13, and change our back step to 10. Click save and save it to speed. I didn't say 15, I said 13. I'm sorry if I have a lisp. It's my bad. 21, 13, 10. I'm saying 13, sorry, if it doesn't come through. 21, 13, 10. All right, then hit OK. All right, now what you guys will notice is that your charts just now outline the market for you. Somebody just said, I use a zigzag all the time, but I've never changed the setting. I can clearly see the difference now. All right. Well, we're not done yet. Believe me. That's just where it starts. The speed doesn't even happen until we start to move forward now. And I teach my private clients this all the time, and we'll get into that later. But what we do now is really where the magic starts to happen. So here's what we do. First thing I want you guys to do, just to get your side set up, is I want you to go up here to your horizontal tool. You're having an OMG moment. I love it. Horizontal tool. Okay, I want everybody to click the horizontal tool. All right, and put it anywhere. That does not matter. Put it literally anywhere. Double click on it, and you should get a little white box over here. What we're about to do is customize it for setting it up for marking for speed. Granted, this is not very speedy when I'm explaining. I'm sure everybody understands that. We'll do a real speed test at the very end. Now what I want you to do is right click and go to horizontal line properties. All right. And change common to red. All right. Once again, change common to red and thicken it up to the second one, just a little bit. I don't want it to get too thick. All right. Just thickens it up a little bit. Now it's red. Everybody with me? Once again, everybody with me? All right. I'm going to type something out in the chat. Red equals daily. Okay. I just typed it in the chat. Write that down in your notebook. Write that down on your notebook. So what we just did is we have a daily chart. What we're now going to do is we are going to find the very top peak. This is step one. The very top peak of the zigzag. If you guys could see me in my office, I'm literally pointing right now to the top of my ceiling. Very top and very bottom. So I'm just going to highlight it real quick. Everybody see that on Aussie Yen? That's why I said do it on Aussie Yen, because I want everybody on the same chart to start. See that peak here? That's our top peak. That's our bottom. Everybody with me? We want to find those. Those are important. Okay? Now, here's what we do. From the peaks, we work left, then we work right. I'm about to explain what that means. So I'm going to work from the top to the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do with my red horizontal line is I'm going to match right here is where my mouse is. Let me delete these things. I'm sure you guys know where do you guys know where the peaks are? Everybody with me there? Can I just get a yes? All right. So what we have is a peak here. We're going to put our red horizontal line at this peak. That's the top. All right. And we're going to work to the left. Horizontal line, top, down, to the left. And we're going to go to the left to every single peak you see and click. So how I do it, I have a top. I go down, 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 down. There's a bottom. I don't click that. Up, 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 up. Peak, click. Okay. Down, 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 down. Up, 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 up. Peak, click. Down, up, peak. Notice we already have a red line there. Do not click. We don't want to double click our lines. If the line is already there, it's just confluence in the market. Once again, do not click. So we won't click there. Keep going down, 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 up, 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 peak, click. Okay, down, peak, click. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that, but we're clicking every peak as long as a line is not already there. Okay, simple as that. Now that we've worked to the left, the only reason we do that is for our sake of use. So we want to make sure we hit every single peak, right? So we go to the left. Now we go to the right. So I go down, up. Okay, there's a peak, but do we have a red line there? Yes. So do we click it? Let me know in the chats. Do we click it if we have a red line here? Or yeah, on the peak. Good job. You guys are already improving. No. So then we move forward. Down, we see a peak. All right, we see it. use the crosshairs to try to snipe it. We're sniping, right? Click. All right, moving forward. Down, 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 up, 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 peak, click. Okay, it was a little close there, but it wasn't on it. Okay, I'm just acting like we're sniping with these crosshairs. Okay, down and up again, and all we're doing again is just clicking on all these peaks. Okay, so I'm going to go through real quick. And I'm going to begin just clicking all these peaks. You guys can do that now. All right. And as you can see, all I'm doing is clicking these peaks, clicking these peaks. This will all come together very soon. All right, so everybody click your peaks. We'll take our time. Don't want to rush anybody. All right, so we're done. No, we're not. We're done with just the tops, right? So what we do now is we reverse engineer what we just did. Like I said, we find the top, AKA right here, and we find the bottom. And the first thing we do is top left to top right. And the second thing we do is bottom left to bottom right. All right, write that down in a notebook. I'm sorry they don't have a slideshow. I think that people learn by me doing it rather than just slides with pictures. Top left, top right. Okay, now we're gonna go bottom up. Is everybody with me? Let me know. Do you need more time, or are you good? We're only 28 minutes in, so we're right on time for what I'm trying to do today. All right, so most people are good to go. Keep marking your peaks if you're not. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the bottom. So same thing goes, okay? We're bottoms now. Switch our mind, okay? Switch our mind. We're on the bottom. So now I'm going to look for this valley, use those crosshairs, click. Okay? Up, down, bottom again. Click. Good, Tucker. Good observation. Yep, that's exactly what we're starting to do. Okay? So we're just finding just the break of this. And this just begins the speed process. Once again, this is not anything that's rocket science. All right. And as you'll start to notice, a lot of these bottoms, because we've already marked the tops, are meeting. We've already marked them essentially, right? So once again, you do not have to mark something that's already been hit. So I notice this valley's been hit. This valley's been hit, this one's been hit, this one is not. So I'll just mark the ones that have not. So you'll notice that the bottoms will go much faster, okay? Once I notice that all the left side is done, that's when I move to the right side, okay? So another valley here, and up I look for more valleys, and I'm noticing a lot of these are already meeting somewhere there on the support side. Okay, so I just don't want to double dip because it tends to get a little bit confusing moving forward here. All right, so that's basically the major step one. All right, outside of the organization, outside of the template, outside of getting the zigzag indicator with the custom setup on here, that's basically step one. That's the major step one. We get our red lines set up, but that's not it. What we now do is move into our 4 hour, okay? Don't click anything, but move into our 4 hour. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit a key on my keyboard, and that key is the end key, all right? It's under the home button on mine. Hit the end key, and you'll be right back here, okay? And now what I like to do is the same exact thing, end and END, end as in the end of the day. Okay, I do the same exact thing on the 4 hour, except what I mean by that is making sure I'm zooming all the way out. Again, we're just hitting the end key so that we're all the way over here. We just want to make sure that there's a gap here. That's all I'm saying, guys. Don't get too caught up on that. Just the end key. Let me type that in there. Just making sure we're at the end. Now what we do is click your horizontal line tool again. All right. Click anywhere you want. Try not to click on top of a red line because it'll be tough to switch it. But click any black space you want. So I'm going to click here. Double click. Right click. Horizontal line properties. Change this color to orange. Okay. I use this orange red one. You can pick any deviation you want, but the orange red's the most orangey one that I can seem to find every time. All right. Now you'll notice that we have a deviating color. So what we're now going to do is we're going to do the same process, working from the top, bottom, and do it again. So what I notice is that my peak is up here. All right. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to find any peak that is not touching a red line. So this will get much faster, you'll notice. So I'm looking at the peaks of the highs. I notice a red line was hit here. I'm going to delete this. Okay. So what you'll notice is I see a red line was meeting here, red line was meeting here. I don't need to double dip per se that, process. What I then will do is find any peak that's not matched. And I notice right here, there's one randomly, okay? The reason that this works is the 4-hour has a completely different deviation in your settings. And so you'll notice every once in a while, you'll get these 4-hour zones. You want to find all of these and mark them. So all I'm doing is finding these smaller peaks and marking them, okay? Marking them. And again, just marking up any peak that I see that was not labeled red on the daily time frame. So you'll notice I become a little bit more sporadic on this because you just have to kind of search with your eyes and make sure you're finding it. Okay. Same goes for bottom. Notice that the peak is actually here. There is no level, all right, of 4-hour. But notice that we already have levels drawn on the daily support side of things. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit when we talk about actually trading. All right, but now we're gonna go to the bottom. So I noticed we have, nothing was there. We have red on this bottom, red on these bottoms, no orange on those bottoms. All right, just making sure that my orange covers all its bases as well. All right. Okay. So I went a little fast there, so obviously I'm going to give a moment to have everybody catch up. For those of you guys that are on here that are caught up, how are you guys liking the webinar so far? You like it, but it's fast, and you haven't even seen me go fast. This is not fast. This is real slow. Just wait. I can do all of this process you're seeing. I'll do this in under 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. Awesome. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start to explain to you how you can start to utilize this, okay? Right now, we've got a pretty, advanced looking chart. We've got a ton of support and resistance, all right? And so what I want to first do is go back to the daily time frame. Back to the daily time frame. And what I want to show you is what we have. And what we have is we have a messy chart. And I think everybody would agree with that. And that's okay. That's what we were going for. What we're going for is the zoom out effect. What this will force you to do with my rule set is zoom out. So you're not ever getting rid of data that you should be paying attention to. Okay, and so what I want you to do now, and this is what's going to wrap this together a little bit before we move forward, is I want you to right click on a blank space in your chart. I want you to go to indicator list. All right, for me and for you, you should only have the zigzag. That's it. I want you to click it once. It'll highlight blue. Hit delete. You have a fully marked chart, guys. Your chart is marked for proper structural support and resistance. Now what I want you to do is hit the 1 hour hit the end key, and look at that. Without having to worry if you're zooming in or zooming out or doing it properly, you suddenly have a support resistance guide that will begin to teach you exactly where, I know I should have named the support resistance mastery, but we haven't even gotten to the speed part yet, okay? So I wanted to go through the process once to at least get your feet wet, all right? All right, now the goal of today's webinar is what? I want everybody to type in that word. If you can hear me, you can see my screen and you're with me, type in the word speed. Speed, right? We want to make sure we were on speed. Do we do support resistance on the 1 hour? I did see that pop up. The answer is no. All right, right now we're focused on the overall section. So what we're going to do is I want everybody to go to CAD Yen. All right, and we're going to do this for speed now. And I'm going to show you my tips and tricks to doing this with speed. And a lot of you guys are going to be laughing because you're going to say, I don't have enough experience. And so what I want to tell you is that this is going to take time, not because it takes skill, because once you learn how to do this, once you understand how to do this using the tools, that speed will just come with time. Think about it. The more, you know, you go to the gym, you become faster, you become stronger, you do it, you understand the weights, you can put, heck, you can put weights on and off faster, right? The speed is there. Same with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the process again together. I want everybody to go to CAD Yen. And when I say go, we're going to do the entire process. I want you guys at that time to minimize, you can minimize this window. And I want you to try and challenge yourself to do this as fast as you can. And the answer is yes, this is recorded. Okay. So when I say go, we're going to do it together. I'm going to verbally out loud be reminding you what you should be doing. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. If you don't want to do it right now, don't do it. Watch me do it. And I'm going to show you how fast I can get this done. Okay. All right. Ready, set, speed. What we do first is we make sure we go to our navigator. We double click on our zigzag. We change our depth to 21. We change our deviation to 13. We change our back step to 10. All right, we go to colors. We make sure it's white. We make sure our width is at a 3. All right, next we hit OK. We have everything out. We make sure we're all the way zoomed out, and we go to the top. Okay, we make sure we have a horizontal tool that is red. All right, and we go from the top to the left. Remember, top to the left. So all I'm doing is sniping these peaks. Sniping these peaks. Boom, 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 boom. As fast as we can. And then once we do it the left side, we're going to the right side. We're going to the right side. Peaks on peaks on peaks. And all we're doing is making sure that we are never overlapping a peak, because that will be a mistake in, well, your time, frankly. All right. So now that I have done as many peaks as I can see, what I then do is switch gears. Remember, now we go to the bottom. Okay, bottom, 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 to the left and to the right, making sure I'm not overlapping anything. All right, next thing we do is we hit the 4 hour, make sure we're zoomed out, hit end, get the tool out and do the same thing, making sure any peaks that we didn't see from the daily, the 4 hour covers. Change it to orange. Make sure we're orange. All right. And all I'm doing now is just making sure nothing is overlapped. I'm making sure all my bottoms are crossed off. I'm making sure all my tops are crossed off. I'm basically dotting my I's and crossing my T's. All right. So done, right? Once we have done that, what we then do is go into the 1 hour, make sure we delete our zigzag, and we have a fully marked chart like that, right? So I wasn't timing myself, but that might have been about 1.5 minutes, and I was still explaining and kind of circling things, so it could have been diluted down a little bit more. How many of you guys are done? Or most of you guys are probably not done yet, right? I have a lot of experience doing this. Tyrone was done in 15 seconds. Joke's on me. All right. But you get the gist, right? Let me just say this. Some of you guys may not be done, right? You're not as fast, and that's okay. But do you get the gist so far? Okay. So we're not done yet. Now's where the good part comes. And it is rather satisfying, I would say. That's why I like it. And I think that a lot of people don't think of it because it looks like, it looks like it was the paint night for Patrick. And I just threw a bunch of paint on my screen that were orange and red on the daily. But if I hit the 1 hour, suddenly I have a chart that, I'm going to be dead honest. For some of you guys, it's like, oh my goodness, I look like I know what I'm doing. It might be a little bit satisfying. Now what I want to do is teach you guys how to actually utilize this to help you in your trading. Okay. So what these are different extremes of support and resistance. All right. Now, if you don't know what support and resistance are, here's how I always explain it. Support is the seat, everybody, or the couch, or whatever you guys are sitting on right now. That's your support, right? Resistance is if I were to jump, this is how I always explain it, but if I were to jump in one of your guys' houses, typically people have 8 or 9 foot roofs. If I jump in an 8 or 9 foot roof house, I hit my head. I'm just a very tall dude and I have a vertical. So I tend to hit my head. That's what resistance feels like, right? You're going to have a little bit of a concussion. So the market has support and resistance. And so after I've marked it up, here's what I typically do. The first thing I do is I crisp up my extremes. What I mean by that is these levels that are really extreme, meaning not inside of the sideways markets, but when they're getting extreme, these levels where they're changing direction, the first thing I do is I crispen it up. Because when you're all the way zoomed out and you're on the zigzag, of course, and you're just clicking, it's going to be deviating a little bit. And so what I do is I just grab these levels and I make sure that I'm crisping them up. You see what I mean? I'm just getting them on these peaks, making sure that it's just getting a little bit crisp up, just a little bit, okay? Now that is beside the point, because when you're generally near these are what I like to call, when I teach my students, magnet points in the market. The market likes to go to them. And so what we talk about inside of my inner circle with those guys and what I'll talk about with you guys today is that these are our magnets. And what you want to do is when you mark these charts up, after you've done this, your first step is finding a chart that is not on a magnet. You don't want to be on a magnet. So if you're getting what I'm putting down, and you might not yet, say yes. Are we at a magnet? Yes or no right now on this chart? Yes. The answer is yes. And the reason that we're on a magnet is that right here, see this orange line? Price is on it. Price is on it. Now, the reason that we don't want to be on a magnet is that we want to take some time after marking to see the market coming towards us. So if I go back to Aussie yen and I go to the 1 hour, check this out. We're not on a magnet. A magnet is a line. All a magnet is one of your lines. Notice there's nothing happening where we're currently at. You see this? There is absolutely nothing happening. And so what that gives us a chance to do is take my typical thing that everybody's heard, and shout out to anybody in CPSG in the boot camp. And if you're not, I highly recommend to go to somebody that's on this webinar and get their link. We have a boot camp in there to help people out. But in the boot camp, we talk about if-then statement. And what I mean by magnet is support or resistance. That's it. So here's your top, or here's your bottom. Okay. Notice how current price is right here. An if-then statement is very, very easy. The first thing we want to do is define our trend on our 1 hour for our intraday traders. And this training is specific to 1 hour trading. Okay. This is very specific to the 1 hour training. And so if I look on this 1 hour chart, what I do to sorry for the hiccup, to the most easy level that I can to define trend, what I do is I say on the all the way zoomed out 1 hour, where is the chart entering? It's right here. See how the chart enters here, meaning price enters my window here. And where is it currently at? It's here. Is the left or the right higher? Is the left or the right higher? Let me know in the comment section. Left or right, left or right, left or right. If the left is higher, this could be a noteworthy moment. If the left is higher, the market is bearish. If the right is higher, the market is bullish. If the left and right are essentially the same, the market is sideways. So we all know the left is higher. What do we have? A bearish or bullish market. For those of you that don't know what that means, is the market moving up or down? So should we be looking to buy or sell this market? I'm clapping for everybody. Good job. We'd be looking to sell. The number one mistake traders make is looking to buy anytime the market keeps moving down. Why would you do that? This is a knife that is falling. If your friend says, hey, would you catch this falling knife? Are you going to do it? The answer is no. This is a bearish market. So we're looking to sell. So what we do inside of this tactic is we take our support and resistance levels. We have them. These are what I call the magnets. Once again, all these lines you see on the chart is what I refer to as magnets. And we take an if-then statement. Price is currently at this red line. If the market price moves up to this level, what do you anticipate I start looking to do? You're correct. Sell 110%. If the market moves down to this level, might be a trick question. What do you think I'm looking for to happen for in a bearish market? What do you think I want to have happen right here? This is not as simple as buy or sell. And this is not trying to see reversal. What I'm looking to have happen, you guys are all off, and I'm here to help. You should not be looking for a rejection. You should not be looking for a retracement. You should not be looking for any of that. What you should be looking for is a break if you're in a bearish market, and then the bounce for the retest to sell. And the reason that we like to trade and we like to look at these situations when the market current price is in between these magnets, meaning we're basically in no man's land, there's nothing going on. We can either sell here or sell on the break here. The reason we do that is why? We give ourselves time. I'm giving myself time to make a decision on what I should be doing in the market. So, my tip for you guys right now, when you guys are looking at the chart, my tip, and this is another nugget that I would write down. Quit looking for the setup. I'm going to type it out. Quit looking for the setup. Type it again. Let the setup come to you. So what I want you guys to understand is that when I get on these live rooms, when I trade for my clients, when I trade for my personal accounts, when I'm in my inner circle group, trading with them, it doesn't matter where I'm trading. If I'm in an FFX, CPSG, if I'm in anything, it does not matter. Every day you will see me waiting for the market to come to me with an if-then statement. I am never attacking the market. I'm letting the market show its hand. If the market comes down here, right? Let me change the color and give you alternative option. Let's see, what color? Let's do white. The market does this from here. Like a lot of you guys said, if the market does this, it bounces there, okay? It starts to reverse, whatever. So be it. Great. If you're looking to buy that, guess what you're doing? You're looking for the setup. I want you to let the setup come to you. Create the setup in your head, which is what I do every single day by drawing these lines. I'm forecasting the market, and I'm letting the setup come to me. It lets me have the best possible risk-reward ratio. My risk management, 110%, will then be on point, and I'll be much more patient, okay? Combining this with training and combining this with further information may help you. And I know a lot of you guys have invited different people, for different reasons. But this is, once again, just a public webinar provided by FFX Academy for you guys to do that.